Hi, I'm Chloe Widman, and today let's talk about retroviruses. In order to understand what retroviruses are, we have to unpack viruses first. Every single virus is an obligate intracellular parasite. Obligate means that it needs something, intracellular means that it works within a cell, and parasite means that it leeches off of its host. Every virus has two goals: to replicate and to wreak havoc. We can say that every virus hijacks their host cell to work for it, to help it replicate. We know that viruses have the ability to cause diseases ranging from colds to polio to HIV to Ebola, but what makes retroviruses different? Well, retroviruses are a family of viruses that insert their genetic code into their host. You might be asking, what's a genetic code? Well, every virus and every organism has a genetic code that specifies exactly what it does. Each genetic code is comprised of nucleotides, a blueprint for the way each cell within an organism will behave. We can represent these nucleotides with the letters A, T, C, and G. The order of these letters determines everything about every organism. What would happen if we were to change the order of these letters? Well, retroviruses use their own genetic code to do just that. They take a portion of their genetic code, they place it within the code of the cell that it inhabits, and they change the host cell. It begins to work for the retrovirus, and it builds centers for replication. These centers allow the retrovirus to spread around its host organism and damage its health. Retroviruses can be very devastating, but what if we decided to use them for good? Well, we're pretty lucky because we have the ability to do that. We can modify viruses, retroviruses included. Using something called the principles of recombinant DNA, we can remove the piece of the genetic code that the retrovirus typically inserts into its host cell and replace it with a piece of genetic code that will work for us. Now we have the ability to determine what happens to the host cell when it encounters the retrovirus. Imagine that we modify a retrovirus so it inserts a neon green tag into white blood cells. White blood cells are the cells of our immune system, so they fight diseases that we encounter. We can study the way that these white blood cells move around the body, and we can learn more about the way in which they attack intruders. Retroviruses are also a super promising method of gene therapy. In an individual with an immune disorder, retroviruses could be modified to strengthen their immune defenses, improving the health and the life of that person. So, retroviruses can create devastating damage or remarkable recoveries, and it's up to us to use them to our advantage.